The Enchanted Journey of Sir Bumblefuzz and Lady Lavender. Introduction. In the kingdom of Breezewood, a peaceful realm full of rolling hills and colorful wildflowers, there lived a most peculiar knight named Sir Bumblefuzz. Known for his charm and not-so-regal manners, Sir Bumblefuzz was as famous for his adventures as he was for his rather questionable wardrobe choices. His tunic was always a tad too tight around the waist, and his helmet? Well, it had a habit of sliding down at the most inopportune moments. One fine morning, as the sun lazily stretched its golden arms across the sky, Sir Bumblefuzz received an invitation to embark on a grand adventure. Must I really wear my armor? It's so restrictive, Sir Bumblefuzz muttered to himself as he polished his shiny, somewhat polished sword. Meanwhile, across the kingdom, Lady Lavender, a wise and strikingly beautiful noblewoman, prepared for her own journey. Her skills were unmatched, and her sharp wit often left her suitors tongue-tied. Lady Lavender knew the adventure would require a good deal of finesse, especially since Sir Bumblefuzz had a reputation for getting himself into situations that could be best described as awkward. Setting off. As Sir Bumblefuzz and Lady Lavender embarked on their journey, their banter began. "Are you sure you're ready for this, Sir Bumblefuzz?" Lady Lavender asked with a sly smile. "I'm always ready for a little mischief," Sir Bumblefuzz responded, his chest puffing out in what he thought was a confident manner. The air was filled with the scent of lavender, and the duo's banter continued as they passed through the forest of whispering pines. The trees, though ancient and wise, had a habit of making strange noises when the wind blew, noises that were just a little too suggestive for comfort. "I suppose," Sir Bumblefuzz said, "a man could get lost in here, so many twists and turns." Lady Lavender stifled a giggle. "Perhaps you could use a guide, Sir Bumblefuzz. I'm quite capable of finding my own path, thank you very much." The first trial. The first trial they faced came swiftly, a massive, unruly bridge that spanned a great chasm. The bridge was old, and its planks creaked under the slightest pressure. Sir Bumblefuzz, in his characteristic manner, was the first to step forward. "After you, Lady Lavender." "Ladies first, of course," Sir Bumblefuzz said, bowing dramatically, though his eyes lingered a bit too long on the sway of her gown. Lady Lavender smirked but didn't hesitate. She crossed with grace, leaving Sir Bumblefuzz to follow. But as soon as he placed his foot on the first plank, the bridge groaned ominously. "Are you certain this is safe?" Sir Bumblefuzz asked. "Oh, don't worry," Lady Lavender called back, "it's perfectly stable. For now." The Forest of Doubts. As they ventured deeper into the Forest of Doubts, they came across an enchanted spring. The water was said to grant clarity and wisdom to those who drank from it. But there was a catch. The spring's waters could only be tasted by those who could resist temptation. As they approached the spring, Sir Bumblefuzz's eyes widened with excitement. "I'm not sure I can resist," he said, his voice full of feigned innocence. "You must be careful, Sir Bumblefuzz," Lady Lavender warned, stepping carefully around the spring. "There's more than one way to dip into things you shouldn't." Sir Bumblefuzz, sensing the cheeky tone, grinned mischievously. "I've always been known to take the plunge, often with enthusiasm." Lady Lavender rolled her eyes. "You're hopeless, Sir Bumblefuzz." But as the spring's waters began to glow, both adventurers found themselves suddenly filled with unexpected clarity, though for Sir Bumblefuzz, it might have been more of a delightful distraction than wisdom. The Trials of Charm. Next, they encountered the court of the Enchanted King, a ruler known for his fondness for beautiful and competent individuals. The king had a rather peculiar sense of humor and a tendency to test the strength of one's charm. When Sir Bumblefuzz presented himself, the king raised an eyebrow. "And what makes you worthy of my attention?" he asked with a grin. Sir Bumblefuzz puffed out his chest. "Why, your majesty, I have many talents." The king raised a hand, and a glowing orb appeared. "Let us see if your talents can match your boasts." A series of challenges ensued, including balancing on one foot while reciting a tongue twister, and navigating an obstacle course while keeping a straight face. Sir Bumblefuzz was good at many things, but his specialty was always Unexpected. The test of grace. One challenge required Sir Bumblefuzz to dance, an activity for which he was certainly less equipped than his counterpart, Lady Lavender. As he fumbled through the steps, his movements were less graceful and more unpredictable. "Oh, dear," Lady Lavender muttered under her breath, trying not to laugh as Sir Bumblefuzz accidentally tripped on his own bootlaces. "A little more elegance wouldn't hurt." Sir Bumblefuzz tried to recover with a quick bow, but instead, he slipped and landed in a most compromising position. The king, trying to maintain his composure, gave a short laugh. "Perhaps next time, a bit more preparation before you start your dance." Conclusion. After a series of amusing trials and tests of both wit and strength, Sir Bumblefuzz and Lady Lavender finally managed to retrieve the enchanted gem that would save the kingdom from a terrible curse. Of course, the true victory was the unspoken bond that had formed between the two during their escapades, full of laughter, slight embarrassment, and mutual respect. As they returned to the kingdom, Sir Bumblefuzz took Lady Lavender's hand. "Well, Lady Lavender, I must say, this journey has been quite a ride." She smiled knowingly. "Indeed, Sir Bumblefuzz, though I think we both found our way in the end." And with that, they returned to Breezewood, where the kingdom celebrated their return with a grand feast. But somewhere in the back of Sir Bumblefuzz's mind, a certain phrase lingered, one he'd overheard in the court of the Enchanted King: "Never underestimate the power of a well-timed gesture." The end, or rather, a new beginning.